fancy.
Do you know what post-nut clarity is? You know what that is. It's almost rhetorical.
Yeah.
So yeah, right, so you're done, and afterwards your mind's like really clear. A good part of that is you're done and you say, wow, I really like this person, or wow, I had a really good time, or wow, I'd like to do this again, or wow, let's go get something to eat. Let's go for a walk. The flip side to that, however, is like the negative, right? It's like, shit, why am I here? Shit, why did I do this? Or shit, I got to get the fuck out of here. It's sad, but it's true. It happens to the best of us. So you know me. For me, everything is food. And a long time ago, I asked myself, what is the food version of these different clarities? And last night, I had a negative food experience that made me think of this. And the crazy thing is, preparing for this show, I had an idea to talk about something. But when I was having dinner, it was like, no, I got to talk about this. It's a tale as old as time, right? So I got a buddy. Let's call him Joey. Joey goes, yo, you got to eat at this restaurant. It's amazing. You ever eaten there? No? Well, you got to go. Okay, fine. So the seed is planted in my head. I don't go that day. I don't go the next day. You know, it's there in my head. So what happens? A few days later, you're driving through an area and you get cut off by like an Uber driver. And after you're done cursing in your car, you look to the right and you go, oh, that's the place Joey said. That's it right there. So then you go, okay, I know where this place is now. Like, so you're like physically connected to it. Then a few more days go by. And I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but I'll be like, yo, I want to eat something. And I'll have no idea what I want to eat. Someone who is as ferociously dedicated to eating, even I'll be like, yo, I don't know. You ever like scan through Netflix or something and you never choose anything? You spend 10 minutes scrolling and you don't pick anything. That's kind of what it's like with food. I'll be like, yo, I have no idea. So last night I was like, yo, I have no idea what I want to eat. And then boom. Oh, the place Joey told me about. That place, the new place. So I went. And I went in with all these expectations. And when I tell you I haven't had an experience as bad as this one in a long time, it was horrible. Horrible. Adrian, horrible. And then that post-nut clarity hit. And I was like, shit, why did I do this? Shit, why am I here? Shit, I got to get the fuck out of here. And it's something I already knew, but it kind of refreshed the lesson in my head where it's like, with a lot of things, food particularly, you have to go into these experiences neutral. You have to go in neutral because if you go in expecting too much and it fails, it hits hard, and vice versa, right? You think it's going to be shitty and it might surprise you. Obviously, that's more positive, but I think if you go into these experiences neutral, you say to yourself, okay, I'm pleasantly surprised by this place. This was fantastic. Or if it was no good, you'll be like, okay, no good, no good. But last night was tough. Like, it was bad because I'd heard so many good things about this place. So I guess the silver lining there is that memory, like reminding myself to go into places neutral. And what I also like about it is that there's so many bullshit restaurants opening up in Miami in the past year that this is another bullshit restaurant crossed off the list. I mean, this is a high end. This is like a big restaurant. And me and my friend Joey have to have a chat as well after this. I got to have a talk, a very heart-to-heart situation, you know? A very heart-to-heart, right? So that's it. Let's get it.
Let's do it. Welcome to Fancy Break. I'm Adrian.
I'm Ed.
And today we're going to get down and personal. Ed and I here decided that we're going to have three things that we both like to talk about, things that are either going on or that are very resonating with us as well. And I want to open with this line.
Hold on, though. I think it's clear for people to understand that there are going to be certain times where we have a concrete idea and we're talking about one thing and it's huge and we want to talk about it an entire episode. But this is an episode where we're just talking about things that have moved us recently. So it's like you can go over your friend's house because there's a dinner or there's a celebration, and those are like our episodes. We invite you to join us because we want to, like, something important that we want to talk about it, and we're going to make it as entertaining and as educational as possible. But there's other times where you go to your friend's house just to chill.
Yeah.
You go to your friend's house to get a drink and relax.
To vibe.
And this is one of those episodes. We just want to invite you to be here with us and talk some shit.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So I want to start with this line from the movie Roadrunner, the story about Anthony Bourdain.
Okay.
And because I recently rewatched this movie, and in it, he explains how he once thought that the dinner table was the great equalizer. And as he continued the journey that was his life, those things slightly changed. However, me being the young person that I am, I truly find myself believing in what he thought of that time, that the dinner table is the great equalizer, especially this round table here. It's a place where everyone is equal, where ideas are shared, points of view, people are understood, and at the end of the day, we connect. I do believe in that. That's why our table is round, our logo is round, right? It's the simple things. It's bread in a plate or in a table, a place where we could all get together. So today is going to be a little bit about that. And I want to start by saying that summer is here, and god damn, it's getting hot.
It's hot as a motherfucker, bro.
It's not officially summer.
It's hot, man.
It's hot. And if it's officially a day, today is actually the National Waitstaff Day. And to those that are serving today, we say, thank you for your service. Yeah?
Today's National Waitstaff Day.
Today's National Waitstaff Day. The day of this recording.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now you know.
You know, when you say the table is the great equalizer, the way I've thought about that where I work is that if you are at a super high-end, expensive Miami restaurant, it's also kind of like an equalizer. Because a lot of people will come to our restaurant that aren't from Miami. But you can tell they enter the restaurant with an energy where it's like they are the shit where they are from.
Yeah.
You know? So they'll enter the restaurant with this vibe, like, yeah. And then they'll hit the host stand, like, yeah, yo. Okay. William.
Like I'm the shit at Atlanta.
William. They won't even say how many people. They'll just be like, William. They'll just say their name. William. And William what? Oh, Rivera. Oh, or William Rivera for 2. Yeah, your table will be ready in a few minutes. You can go to the bar and join us. And I know William's like, yo, what's going on? Where's my table? You're not in Orlando anymore, William, you know? So that's when I hear the great equalizer, that's what I think. I think it's like you come to eat at a big restaurant in Miami and you'll know very quickly who the big shots are. So it kind of equalizes everyone's expectations. It's like if you're a big shot, you're a big shot. But if you aren't a big shot, you'll know very quickly you're not a big shot. So that's what I was thinking. When I think equalizer, that's what I think. I think everyone is in the same in that way. Like William Rivera, you're gonna wait for 45 minutes to sit down. Yeah. You get sat immediately in your restaurant in Tallahassee, but in Miami you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah,
so that's what I think. When I think equalizer, I think that.
And to me, it's about the fact that everyone who is in that table, you are already in the table. At that point, it's up to you to bring the respect, to bring the value to the table.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, you can always just listen. And listening, it's pretty much the best thing you can do in a high value table because that's how you learn.
Yeah, your version was much more wholesome than mine.
Yeah, true. But hey, that's also the point that Mr. Anthony Bourdain, he had a lot of dinner experiences. He connected with a lot of different people throughout the whole world. So he was able to see and understand things that because we're right now in Miami working so many years. I've been in Miami for now close to 10 years or more. I got to come back to that number. Jesus.
He was cool. Did you ever wait on Anthony Bourdain?
No.
I waited on him twice.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy, man. It's refreshing to see people who you think are cool on TV and they're also cool in person.
Right.
Yeah. He sat down with he was sitting with a woman and I even asked my Sam at the time. This was like when I first started serving too.
Yeah.
So it was even more uncomfortable. It was like I had high anxiety. And I asked my Sam, and I was like, yo, so what do we do? Like, are we serving him wine? Like, he was like, no, just go, do your thing.
Serving the same as anyone.
So I spieled Anthony Bourdain, and at the end of my spiel, he was like, you have oysters? I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, we'll take 2 dozen. I was like, absolutely. And he was like, you have a big piece of meat here? I was like, yeah, we do. He was like, we'll do that. We'll do it rare. Okay. You have like a bunch of vegetables that are available? I was like, yes, you do. He was like, don't bring those. He was like, just bring the meat. Anything else? He was like, no. I was like, okay. And then a little bit of me shone through. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Your order is so simple. And I talked to you about so many things. I apologize. He was like, no, it's okay. I enjoyed it. I didn't want to interrupt you. You were obviously in your flow. But yeah, that's all I have. And he tipped like a monster, was mad chill. I'm sure a lot of people miss him. He was seemed like a cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he respected.
Yeah, man.
You know, he's even though he was sitting in a different perspective in the table, he knew to extend that respect not only to the people that were in his table, but to the people that are outside of the table as well.
Right, man.
Right, because the things that he's seen, the things that he's done, can mark anyone. Honestly,
Yeah.
it definitely marked them. You know, and those.
For sure.
I mean, we didn't personally know him, but one can tell that this person saw a lot.
Yeah, man.
And lived a lot. Now, bringing it back to what I wanted to talk about summer, because
Yeah.
summer is getting hot. Like you said, we most of the time are in 2 wheels, motorcycle or scooter. And as I'm driving on my way to work, you feel that heat. Because in Miami, it's not necessarily that it's 100 degrees, which it will be in summer, or that it's 90% humidity, which it will be in summer. It's also the fact that when you look at the UV ray in your app, it says dangerous. Wear sunscreen till like 6. And that's what you feel. Like when you're like out there in the sun, you feel like you're cooking. You feel like you're getting that black and blue. You're getting that.
I never scroll that far
Pittsburgh
down.
style.
I never scroll that far down on my weather app. I just see the weather.
Oof.
Or the rain.
Then don't. That's what makes it
Do you
hot.
have a farmer's stand?
Oh yeah.
Do you have a farmer's stand?
Yeah, for sure.
Like you're cut off here? I have a perpetual farmer's tan because I don't tan purposely. I don't like go to the beach or anything. But like I'm on my scooter, my motorcycle, my t-shirt, and farmer's tan.
So as I'm going on the way to work and I see all these patios, restaurants are like outside in the open, and I tell myself, fuck, no way in hell.
Fuck that noise.
But I will say, I did try it before.
I think we've all done it.
It's a part of you finding out what you're good at and what you like, what you don't like. I'm going to break that wall. I went and I worked at Versace Mansion for 2 days. That's how long I lasted.
What a shit restaurant that is.
Hey, listen, everybody has their opinions about that.
Yeah.
However,
Shit.
whatever it may be, it is the second most photographed place in Florida. The first one being Disney. So that's how popular this place is,
So it's the most photographed restaurant in Miami.
pretty much.
It's one of the shittiest restaurants in Miami.
Anyway, I tried working there for 2 days. If I find a picture, I'll post it. Full uniform.
Yeah.
At noon.
Yeah,
Or setting up for around 10, 11 for the lunch service. Full white shirt, long sleeve, jacket, like a vest, and tie, black pants in the middle of the fucking summer.
Yeah.
And then we had to take all the furniture from the pool that the guests are using and put it away and then bring all those tables outside. Full uniform. And I was like, all right, maybe this will get better. Maybe this will get better. It didn't. First day, I was already taking tables because that's how busy this restaurant is. First day, like,
Yeah, the
can you
Versace
help
Mansion
me with
is
that? Go.
super busy.
I was taking orders. Things were, this was years back. So hopefully they fixed their stuff, right?
Oh, no, it's
this,
still a shit show.
it was the stuff of nightmares.
No,
You know,
no, no,
nothing's
it's a
available. You don't find stuff.
it's a shitty restaurant.
People are super upset, super rude. Everybody just wants to take a picture at Gianni Versace's mansion because let's face it, that's what you want to do. You want to
It's a
wear
shitty
your
restaurant.
Versace and you want to go there. You
I've
want to take a
said-
picture and be
I think
like,
I've made
I
it
dine
clear.
here.
Right.
My second day, I went to the person that hired me and I said to him, it's not for me. And he said, I understand. It's definitely not for everyone. We shook hands. He paid me full because I served both days. And let me tell you, good money. So whoever's working there, they do well. However, what they had to go through, nah, not for me.
Nah.
And that brings also to the subject of uniforms. It really upsets me that you have people working outside in those conditions, and you as a manager, owner, boss, etc., don't think to yourself, you know what? It'd be nice if I tell my workers, hey, if you're
Like
gonna be working
a
outside,
summer uniform?
yeah, wear a summer uniform. Wear some linen shirts. You know, wear pants that are a little lighter. Let's do something.
Short sleeves.
Yeah, let's put the sprinklers with. Those are the best ones. The
mist.
fans with the mist.
The mist.
Oh, like a little kiss of heaven. Let's put those around. But no. They're like, no, you're gonna have to wear the full uniform all the way because you have to represent.
A little kiss of heaven.
God,
You're so dramatic.
but dude, if they would at least do that, some places do. Some places do that, and they say, hey, wear the t-shirts out if you're gonna work outside with the linen.
Or they
throw your staff a bone.
Or they make an active choice to say, okay, the summer's coming, so everyone's uniforms are going to be different. Even if you don't want to go short sleeve because it's somewhere very formal, fine. You go from black jackets to lighter jackets. Anything that at least means that you've made a decision, a conscious decision to be like, yo, I'm going to try to take care of the comfort of my staff.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen very often. It doesn't. It's the last thing in the design.
Yeah.
Like,
however, in the other side, and I want to say, because the reality is that whoever it goes out there and work, because there's some people that do like that. I met people that work lunches in a patio, and I asked my server, I said, hey, how do you feel about it? She's like, I love it. I don't work nights. I only work lunches. I like to wake up when the sun comes out. I like to come to work, do my shift, enjoy the rest of my day, and go to bed when the sun goes down.
Yeah.
So people like that. And to those,
cool.
I say, thank you. We appreciate your service, because I certainly don't want to do that. I even have this friend who I recommended, hey, you want to come work with us? Highly recommended, of course. And he said, nah, I can't do that. I said, why?
Can't do dinners?
No. He said, I can't work in a place that doesn't have even a window. And I said, well, I respect that. However, me in my tiny little cave with our mirrors on the wall, thank God for those mirrors.
I can't work in a
AC,
place
my
that
suit,
doesn't
only
have
PM.
Windows.
I'm all down for that. So some of us like this, some of us like that.
You asked another adult to come work at a restaurant where they have the potential to make a ton of money, and they say they didn't want to work there because it doesn't have windows.
Yep.
What a fucking...
However, let me tell you, like I said on the Versace story, those 2 days that I got paid for, it was good money. Good money.
It's a shit show.
Also, there's opportunity in both places.
It's a shit
It's just
show.
that you do what you like. You volunteer or you offer to do your services where you think they'll be served.
Dude, the only
most.
reason you're going to be working at the Versace Mansion is because you are selling drugs to tourists. Like, that's it. Dude, the shittiest fucking place I've ever seen. Ever.
Have you ever dined there?
Hell no.
I never dined there.
Hell no.
I went there for 2 days. That's
Hell no, bro. Eat at the Versace Mansion. What the fuck? You crazy? The hell no. I'd rather go back to the restaurant that I talked about at the beginning of this show than eat at the Versace Mansion. I talk about a shit show, just in the utter definition of quantity with no quality. They do a million covers there, and I guarantee you 75% of those people are fucking miserable. Miserable to deal with, to look at, to smell, because they sweating out there. They probably got a shitload of perfume or cologne on. No. Olvídate de eso, brother. No, don't talk to me about the Versace Mansion again. You fucking crazy.
And that is that.
Yo, we got a new coworker, a relatively new coworker with us that is from the Versace Mansion. And when I found out he was from the Versace Mansion, I was like, man, fuck this dude, bro. That's how much I dislike the Versace Mansion. And he turned out to be a fantastic human being. He's a great coworker.
Yeah.
But nah, fuck that place.
You want to bring your first?
Yeah, I'll bring my first, bro. Because I'm angry now. You got me in the Versace Mansion fucking the talk. So I had the honor of eating a world-renowned tasting menu the other day. It reminded me of a very specific feeling that you and I have had together, where you say to yourself, was this incredibly well-orchestrated tasting menu more enjoyable than something more simple and more focused on food taste? So to make the question very simple, I was wondering to myself, yo, this tasting menu is great, but I'd rather just have like a really good cheeseburger right now. We had that feeling when we went to Peru. When we went to Peru, we ate at Central and we ate at Maido. right? Maido is, for all intents and purposes, let's call it a 1-star restaurant. And Central is like a 3-star restaurant. Like it's an incredible experience.
Wonderful.
But did we enjoy the food at Central more or at Maido more?
Maido.
At Maido.
Yeah.
Because Milo was about the raw food experience. It was classy. The service was great.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with the service. It's not like they just brought food to the table, bam, and then left. No. It was a great food experience. The service was great. And at Central, it was like this whole fucking experience.
It was a story.
A story.
The elevations and
No, it's crazy. If you ever get a chance to eat at Central in Peru, it's a thing.
and do it, because again, it's a story. It's an experience for you to
It's
enjoy.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yes.
But if you could only eat one way for the rest of your life,
Oh,
if you could only eat one way for the rest of your life,
Maido it is.
going to fucking eating a delicious onion, burger sauce, bacon, double smash burger. If you could press a button and you could only eat one way for the rest of your life,
Of course.
dude, I'd rather have the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make sense if you consider how passionate we are about food.
Yeah.
It speaks very highly to how specific these experiences are. And I was saying to myself, this doesn't take anything away from this experience. Nothing. Incredibly expensive. Incredibly expensive. It doesn't take anything away from the experience. But dude, at the end of that meal, I was like, yo, I'd rather eat a burger. I'd rather have had a beer and a burger or a couple of slices of really good pizza.
I want to put a little parenthesis there and ask you this question, since we're talking about burgers.
Go ahead.
Here in Miami, you wake up one day and you say, today I want to eat a burger. Where do you go?
I make it myself.
You make it yourself?
Yeah.
Nice. I go to Skinny Louie, bro.
Skinny Louie is good.
I go to Skinny Louie. It's good.
Skinny Louie is
delicious.
good.
And at times I go back and forth between two of their burgers. Either their Skinny Louie,
Yeah.
right, with the onions.
Skinny Louie is
or
good.
I go the bacon burger.
The thing about burgers is just like steakhouses.
Yeah.
Once you reach a certain quality, the differences between those places are like minuscule. It all depends on what you like about that particular thing. But I don't think anyone's going to be like, yo, I love Cowie Burger. Fuck Skinny Louie. No. They're going to be like, yo, I like Cowie better, but I like Skinny as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like,
I like Cowie, but
or vice
I like
versa.
Skinny better.
Or insert your smash burger here.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be. When certain things reach a certain level,
Yeah.
they're all comparable. It just depends on, I like the fact that they put more onions on this, or I like the burger sauce this.
Yeah, like there's char on the outside
Right.
of this one,
And
or
if
the bun
anybody
is a little
doesn't
bit buttery.
if anybody doesn't know what burger sauce is the same three things in different ratios, right? Ketchup, mayo, and mustard in different ratios, depending on what you want your sauce to look like, with some garlic, onion, pickle, paprika, and then throw in your secret ingredient here. They're all the same shit.
Yep.
So, I like this burger sauce better. I like the fact that there's a ton more Maillard on these burgers. Or, I like that these are like really like super thin, like they're super glassy and crunchy. But they're all the same shit. Yeah. But I'd rather make it myself.
Yeah.
I'd rather make it myself. Because I've been practicing for a long time.
And those are very good.
I've been practicing for a long time. I like making my own burgers. I had one experience which I was really embarrassed. I went over a friend's house and everyone was like, it was like a potluck. So my thing was burgers. I was like, I'm gonna make burgers for everybody. I made a fucking tub of burger sauce and I bought the meat and I had everything ready. And when I got there, my miscalculation was seasonings. I was like, okay, they're gonna have salt there. They did, but they had like this pink Himalayan salt, which I never use. But it's a lot stronger than like kosher salt. I made the saltiest fucking burgers on the face of the earth. And I have the type of friends and coworkers that will fuck with you forever.
Yep.
Forever.
Oh, yes.
So for 3 months after that, I had coworkers going, yo, I'm like, I'm sorry I made this mistake. I'm just still dizzy from my sodium intake that I had 3 months. Like, that's the type of shit. But I like making burgers at home. If you could say, yo, you could only eat one burger, I'd rather make it. And for me, I think the optimal burger would be, even if it's smashed or just a regular patty, it's fine. Dry aged. A little hint of dry age in there. And then after that, just classic. Bacon or no bacon is fine. Cheese. And when you do cheese on a burger, it's easy to get into like something fancy, but just processed yellow cheese, bro. Let's get fucking disgusting. some kind of onion, some kind of pickle, some kind of dry age, and a burger sauce. That's it. Simple.
Nice.
That's me. Back to it though. I don't think when you eat a tasting menu and you're thinking to yourself, man, this is a lot. I would rather have just done something simple. Even though it seems like counterintuitive, like I don't think that takes anything away from the tasting menu. Because again, the tasting menu is more about an experience. Mm-hmm. Like there are things like procedures and techniques utilized in that tasting menu that you're not going to get anywhere else. But a raw enjoyment of an experience, I'll take a burger, man.
Yeah, I guess that's why, and we both have this that's very similar. Whenever we're serving our guests, and guests are like, "Oh, so what's your favorite restaurant?" I said, "No. That's not the way we're gonna play this.
Yeah,
you need
bitch.
to give me 2 or 3 items that you really want to eat, and I'll tell you where you're gonna go and have the best of that."
Yeah.
That's what I tell my guests. Like, if you tell me I want to have the best lasagna, if I want to have the best pasta, or if I want to have the best bone marrow, if I want to have the best burger, that's what you got to ask me.
Where's your favorite lasagna in Miami right now?
Lasagna right now, honestly, I'm between 2. The short rib lasagna from Macalina, whenever I want something that's like unique. But whenever I want something simple, I usually go to Cafe Prima Pasta, where they just do a traditional bolognese. And especially, I'm so happy when I get the corner. Oh, I love the corner of a pasta. When you get that nice little corner.
If you have a flat sheet of something and it's food, the corners are the best. It's like a corner of Sicilian. If you do a middle of Sicilian instead of a corner, you were dropped on your head as a kid.
But you let me know, where's your favorite lasagna? Because I want to go and check that out too.
I'll tell you mine.
Please.
The lamb lasagna at Walrus Rodeo. That thing is special.
Oh, yeah. You
forgot about that one.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
That
and then
shit
it just like
is special, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good, dude.
Because they played with it. They did their own thing.
So good.
Now, moving it on, I want to talk about Memorial Day. Is one day that in Miami, it's a lot of fun. You get the planes, you get that big event. It's a huge thing. It's like a lot of fun. So if you're down here, please enjoy it. Let us know what you think. That got me thinking. I know of a lot of people who, family, friends, etc., who served in the militia, and then
in the militia or the military?
In the military, thank you, and then also served in restaurants before or after, both ways. I went ahead and I called one of these, and I asked her a couple of questions. And the first one was, if you were to wake up tomorrow, and the only thing that would be different was that you worked in a restaurant or worked in the military, what would you be looking forward to most?
They probably said military.
This person couldn't answer. It was like, oh, wow.
Right.
So, and then we kind of agreed that it depends on what you're doing. Because if you are deployed somewhere that's dangerous, anywhere, please. I'll take anywhere, right? But then otherwise, she was like, yeah, but when I go to a restaurant, all the shit that I have to take constantly, every day, it's like, I don't know if I really want that.
So she implied that she'd rather be serving in the military than serving in a restaurant.
Unless, of course, she was like deployed away from family in difficult situations, in situations that none of us really want to be, because who does that? Only the people that volunteer. And again, thank you for your service.
My experiences with people that have served in the military and having them as coworkers, I don't really like it too much. They're a little too fucking uptight for my liking.
Yeah?
A little bit too uptight.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can tell. They do everything very structured. And this is like generally speaking. Because you could be in the military and then when you're not active, you could be a complete fucking scumbag and, be totally cool. But my negative experiences with people that are either in the military or, aren't active anymore, but they have that structure ingrained in them. And then they become servers and they become my coworkers. I don't know. You remember Mike? Yeah, I didn't like Mike much because he was too uptight and structured.
I love Mike. I hope to get him on the show one day.
No, we can get him on the show, and I can tell him why I didn't like him as a coworker.
We call him the police officer.
Exactly my fucking point. Exactly my point. I'm in there, scrappy, doing my thing, and
his officer. The way he would stand with his thing, it would look
like
he
was writing someone a ticket.
You're writing your ticket.
I don't mean it about Mike personally. I just mean like the way that uptightness, that stick in your ass type behavior, it really rubs me the wrong way.
True, but there's also other people, because I know this other person that worked with us who was, I would say, the opposite. But because this person lived some things that I wouldn't want to imagine, right? So it's like being on one of those Humvees on the desert, and then suddenly a fucking missile comes your way, tumbles your car around, flips it a couple times, and you have to come out and fight for your life. You know, those things, they scar you for life. And sometimes you even see that in the behavior that they exhibit themselves as they're serving. And sometimes you might even give these people like a little bit of a distance because you say to yourself, holy shit, this person's a little fucked up. But I would say to them, that's the biggest gift that these people give to us.
I think I agree.
The gift of
I agree, 100%.
ignorance, the gift of not having to, go through those things and live in our little bubble. And by ignorance, right? Because some people might be like, oh, ignorance. The other day I was with my lady and I decided to take a shortcut through the alleyway. And she says to me, oh, I don't like alleys. I chuckled and I said, why don't you like alleys? And she said, well, because they're like unkept, the road's like messy, sometimes it smells bad and it's dark, you don't know what's going on. And well, that's what the people that serve do. They go through those places so that you don't have to. They do all these things so that you just come in through the store and everything is beautiful and you get to say, oh, service sucks. Everything is terrible. Fuck America. You get to be who you are and who you want to be because of the service that everybody else does. What that gets me thinking when I think about Memorial Day is that are we only going to respect the people that serve when they're serving, when they come to your restaurant with their beautiful uniforms? No, these people are now your mechanics, they're your servers, they're your doctors, they're your lawyers, they can be anyone. So if you truly want to respect someone for giving you the gift of ignorance, respect everyone around you because everyone is doing something so that you don't have to. Whenever you go to a store and you say, man, who the fuck works there? Well, that guy's doing it for you or that girl's doing it for you, not you. So be grateful that someone is serving and in place or in an area that you're not. Isn't that the most beautiful thing that we have here in America?
Well, to all of that, I'll say I want to make it clear that the fact that these men and women do things and face these atrocious things to protect us is amazing.
Yeah.
I will always respect somebody who is in our military and does those things that we don't even know about.
No.
To give us our liberties. Amazing. Amazing. But if you are my coworker and you don't know how to clock out, Gomer Pyle, then you're fucking weird, bro. You're weird. Like I don't want it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I don't want to be in a barracks. I want to be at work. If you don't know how to turn it off, then you got a fucking problem. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Thank you for your service, and I will say that to the day I die. Yeah. Because it's a real thing. Yeah. These people are dealing with the real monsters, the real scary shit in the world.
Yeah, if you look at the jobs that are the most stressful
the
jobs,
real scary shit in the world,
they're up there. I think they're 1 or 2, and then serve in restaurant service.
These fucking the people
it's in the top 10 too.
The people in the armed forces are the real fucking gangsters. If you're gonna become my coworker after you come back stateside and you don't know how to turn it off, you still think you're a fucking drill sergeant, go fuck yourself. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hey, that's okay.
Hey,
it's like it ends at a place. Let's find the line and let's stand.
That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, you want to move into the next one?
Yeah, I got one.
Go for it.
You're gonna like this. There's a lot of different ways you can be a good server. A lot of different ways. There's a lot of different formulas. One of the formulas I thought of recently was you can either be personable or you can be technical. The personable server is the server that's, to simplify the discussion, very friendly. Mm-hmm. Friendly and great energy and bubbly and right. The technical server is the server that doesn't do any of that shit. But they're fantastic at their job, technically speaking, the technical skills, right? You need a fish fillet tableside. But they're not smiling, though. They're not making conversation. They don't give a shit about you. They care about what they're doing. They want to make sure there's no bones left over. They're going to serve perfectly. When they French food on your plates, they're not going to spill a drop of anything.
Yeah.
But they're not going to ask you where you're from or what you're doing with your life or what your plans are that night. They don't give a shit. The personable server is the kind of server where they might anger you. Like they'll forget to bring a glass of wine or you might see them drop a tray or some shit. But you say to yourself, man, I can't stay mad at this person. They're so wonderful.
Yeah.
And then the technical server is the server that like, you're like, dying to find a real complaint about this person. Like, fuck, this guy's rude, but you're like, damn, look how perfect my table is. Like, my glass has never been empty. Everything is perfect. This fucking guy is amazing. So here's the thing. At this atrocious dinner I had last night, I had a server who was really bad. Why was this server bad? Because he was definitely more on the technical side, but he was incomplete. He didn't have enough technical ability to make up for his lack of personality. So he wasn't very personable, but he also wasn't technical enough for me to look past his lack of being a nice person. Mm-hmm. So he was incomplete. Like, if you're going to be purely technical, you have to be very good, because then it'll allow people to overlook the fact that you aren't talking to them or trying to connect, because some people are needy. Some people will sit down and be like, oh, I want to get talked to.
Yeah.
All right.
Or listen to.
I want somebody to listen to me.
I want somebody to compliment me.
Right.
Where am I? To acknowledge me because it's my day.
Guys, we're going to go to this restaurant and we're going to ask the locals where to go. I mean, that's a pretty typical technique, right? Yeah. You're going to go somewhere. You don't plan everything. You go, well, I'm going to ask the bartender at this place I go. They'll know. But if that bartender doesn't want to talk to you, then he better at least make fantastic cocktails. So what kind of server do you think you are?
Black and white.
Black and white.
Black and white, personable.
Right.
But as you know, my technical skills, if you move this that way, I get upset.
That's not technical skills. That's OCD.
I know.
That's mental problems.
So, but I use my OCD to my technical skills and make sure
to
that
your
everything
advantage.
is exactly. That's why I personally found that this industry has been great for me, because it really helps me with my ACAG.
So I take this back, right? I take it back. It doesn't have to be black and white, because the issue itself, in order to be complete, isn't black and white. You can be both simultaneously. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do both, but instead of me telling you what I think I am, I want you to tell me which you think I am.
Again, it's a bit of both.
Which one do you think I'm more of?
Technical.
So you see, I had to think about this, and I think for the most part, I'm personable. Because it's not, maybe it was a little misleading, the description, because personable doesn't purely mean bubbly, doesn't purely mean positive. It just means you have the ability to talk to people and gain rapport with them, one way or another. So I often have the ability to talk to people, and through humor, through sarcastic humor, I'll connect with people. I'll find another asshole at the table who's like, oh, I like this guy. Like this other guy the other day was like, bring him another one of his drinks. So I brought him a fucking drink. And my coworker was like, yo, this is the drink from this table. And I was like, yeah, what about it? He was like, oh, the guy said he didn't want it. I was like, give me that fucking drink, bro. I went back to the guy. I was like, yo, what's wrong with your drink, Poppy? What's going on? I even tapped the glass with my nail like this. What's wrong with the drink? He was like, nah, I don't want that. I was like, your bro asked you for this drink. He was like, yeah, but I don't want it. I was like, well, here's what you're going to do. Well, I'm going to leave it here. You can let it die if you want. That's staying right there. That's it. And he started laughing. He was like, I fucking love this kid. So you see what I mean? It's like, yeah, that wouldn't have worked with everybody.
No.
But he was an asshole.
Yeah.
So I was an asshole.
Yeah.
So our frequencies were the same.
Yeah.
There was nothing technical about my service. It was just personable in an asshole way.
Yeah. Aggressively charismatic.
That's my style, guys.
Yeah.
Being charismatically aggressive.
There you go. Flipped it around.
In thinking about this yesterday, I was like, yo, which one am I? And I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? Despite the surface of things, I'm very personable. I can be technical.
Yeah.
I'm very technical. I can French and fillet and make sure your table is perfect. But my strength comes from connecting with people one way or another.
Absolutely.
That's just how I feel.
I'm glad that we can meet there on the table, sir. See what we did there? The third topic I want to talk about is loss. If you say from today to the same day last year, it's been a tough year for a lot of us. You're not alone in this. A lot of restaurants have closed down, places that have been open for 17 years, 15 years, 10 years, landmarks, coworkers that moved on, friends, family, pets. It's been a tough year. And I I want you to know that you're not alone in this. We're all going through it. And in their name, in their honor, we will carry on. I just wanted to share with you that if you're going through a struggle right now, we're all going through it. And together we will overcome. I wanted to share that because
That was deep,
bro.
bro.
It's been rough. And honestly, even this topic, what I started with mentioning about Anthony Bourdain, this year my grandpa passed this year. And I'm so grateful for him for so many fucking things, obviously. But in the last time that we sat down and spoke, I asked him, I usually have these moments in life where I call them my aha moments. And it's when you realize, oh, that's what it freaking means.
What kind of moment?
And
What kind of moment?
like aha, right?
I'm just making sure. Okay.
And I asked him, like, what has been your aha moment? Because, he was 90. And he said, oh, I found peace. And obviously, as he explained it, I heard him, but I kind of didn't fully understand it. And it crossed me that this is one of those things that one day, as I keep growing, I'm just going to be like, oh, that's what Grandpa meant. And that's why I also started with that opening about how Anthony Bourdain felt, because I do seriously wholeheartedly feel about the table the same way that he felt at that time. Mm-hmm. Whether or not I will in the future feel differently about it, I guess that's the journey to take. And that's the message through it, that without loss, there's no joy. Without losing him, I wouldn't appreciate so much the love and all the actions that this person took, the same way that these restaurants close and then you remember them fondly because, man, I had a great dinner there. I had a fantastic time there. But when recently a restaurant closed, a friend of mine reached out and she said, oh, when was the last time you went there? And then, that was true, because sometimes we go to places that are close to us, convenient for us, or something that we really want to do. But if you really support a restaurant, go there as much as you can. But we're going to definitely dive in the future into what causes restaurants to close, because it's not just one thing fits all. There's a lot of reasons why restaurants close. And that's definitely something that we are going to delve into and share with you. But in the end, remember that without those losses, there's no joy. In order to appreciate one, we have to, as hard as it is, learn to appreciate the other. I got a little down and personal here.
Yeah. Very personal. My version of what you said is, the service industry is like, not to be corny or shit, but it's like a family. Like, we're all brothers and sisters in this shit. Because if you're having a terrible shift, you're like, yo, this is fucking terrible. And you're dealing with something and you have to hide it at work. Like, you have to, put your professional face on. Or you could be working on a busy shift and be sick, like not feeling well. And it's the absolute worst thing ever. I think people should find comfort in realizing that there's nothing you're going through in a restaurant during a shift, no matter how bad you think it is, that other people haven't dealt with, that other people aren't dealing with currently. So I know a lot of people would say, oh, all right, whatever, but that doesn't help. But you need to understand that your inconvenience, no matter how severe it is not exclusive to you. Other people are also dealing with stuff like that. So I find comfort in understanding that other people have dealt with shit I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
We said this episode 1 of this new season, like, we're here. Like, this is what we're here for. We're not talking through some kind of proxy. Like, we deal with this shit.
And we're in the trenches.
We're
No
on-
windows, baby.
We're on the fucking ground floor. Like, we're in the shit, dude. Like, this is what we do for a living. And anything you guys are dealing with, any kind of asshole, any kind of good guest, any kind of terrible experience, any kind of work drama, we've either seen it or we've done it or we're going through it.
Yeah.
That's my less dramatic version.
Yeah. When I asked this person who's serving in the military, what things would you say that you learned in the restaurant industry that helped you in your military career? And this person say simultasking for sure, like handling too many things at once.
Okay.
It's like a must. And also patience, because people are constantly giving you shit over and over and over again. And you have to take it in a way. It's like, because sometimes you can throw it back, I guess, and put them in their place with a little bit of charisma and personality. But at times, you really have to take it, especially from your superiors. So these things kind of prepare you for that. So
Yeah.
she gave me the, I've been through this.
Yeah.
I guess I can take it. Definitely similarities there. Last call.
Nothing else for me.
Anything you would like to share?
You asked me, you said last call. I said nothing else for me.
Got it, sir. So let's go ahead and drop this check.
Adrian's trying to implement new cute words.
Yeah.
Let's support him. I
To
like
stay
this.
in theme, to stay in theme.
I like it.
You know, and I hope that, because life is a learning experience. And, I sit down and I write these closing messages and I read them. But I do hope that one day I'm going to be prepared enough for me to just bring them from the heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like to say that ignorance is a beautiful thing. So I would kindly ask that you extend the respect and appreciation that we give our military to everyone else as well. Because you don't know what they've done or what they do for you. To those who serve us and to those who are serving us, we thank you and we salute you. For they may not be the heroes you want, but most certainly the heroes we need. Thank you for listening.
It's like fucking Batman. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.